AI agents are everywhere, automating tasks and making decisions at machine speed. But agents make mistakes. Just one rogue agent can do big damage before you even notice. Rubrik Agent Cloud is the only platform that helps you monitor agents, set guardrails, and rewind mistakes, so you can unleash agents, not risk. Accelerate your AI transformation at Rubrik.com. That's RUBRIK.com.
Happy holidays! Want to give your host a gift? Consider subscribing, rating, and reviewing the show this holiday season. It really helps the show grow. From all of us at Believe, have a Merry Christmas, everyone, and a Happy Holiday.
Trojan family, what's up? Welcome to the USC LAFB show here on the LAFB network. I'm your host, Ryan Dyrud. Thank you, as always, for making this a part of your day. I had planned on moving past Notre Dame, USC. I did a video earlier. Obviously, everyone knows by now the rivalry being put on pause, officially not scheduled for 26 and 27, and likely not again until 2030. It is what it is. As a fan, I hate it. From a business perspective, I get it. I plan on moving on. A little bit more reporting has come out, and so just wanted to touch on that quickly. Plus, my mind is just blown how people cannot comprehend this, and why this is happening. And I'll say this and I'll get into it. Fans, I get. Like, I understand fans, the word fanatic, I understand why they can't, I don't want to say it, okay, I want to say this correctly, I'm not trying to sound at all pedestal or offensive. I understand why, regardless of the business side, why they will disagree, right? Because as a fan, all you care about is the game and the passion and the pageantry and the tradition. So I understand that, and I feel that way too. Where I struggle is when you have people in the media, supposed people just trying to be subjective, covering a sport, which we know, I'm just sticking to sports media, but we know, and myself included, right? Like, I'm clearly probably leaning a little bit way, but we know for sure, like, the media is not subjective whatsoever. Like, they have very based opinions. But the fact that they cannot separate fandom from actual business decisions is kind of mind-blowing to me. So we'll kind of get into that. And, I may be people can call me in the wrong here. That's fine. We're talking about a sports game, right? This isn't life-altering. But so anyway, so the somewhat new reporting or new coming out. So essentially, I believe I touched on this in the first video, but USC had kind of basically said, hey, all right, we want this game to continue. So we will essentially do what Notre Dame wants. We will extend the series at least for 26, play the game in its normal scheduled time, and Thanksgiving week, it'll be a home game in LA. So we'll play that, at least extend it, and then we can continue kind of conversing and figuring things out for the future. And who knows what the college football playoff selection will really look like in the future. But in November, that seemed to kind of be the case, that it was going to get done and just continue on as it has been, at least for 2026, potentially also in 27 back in Notre Dame. So then it kind of comes out that, and again, I don't know if this was USC not knowing, which this has been kind of like a known thing a little bit, that all the details were not fully released. You would think that the commissioners would let all ADs and programs know. I don't know, where I'm not in those rooms. I'm not going to pretend who knows what and who should know what. But essentially then it comes out that, Notre Dame has this in the future, essentially this at-large bid, if you will, that as long as they are ranked in the top 12, they will make the playoffs. So as long as they finish top 12 by the CFP committee, they get in. So USC now knowing this says, oh, well, wait on. Like, you won't at all talk about our like request to change the schedule. Like, you are basically adamant, like, nope, we'll play you anytime, anywhere, except the beginning of the year. We'll play you anytime, anywhere, unless it's not our already agreed upon scheduling for the last 60 years. So there was already that, like, okay, you won't move it for whatever you can say all you want, like, oh, we already have our games scheduled. I've said many times, those can be moved, those can be changed. But, I from the historical point and the tradition, like, I get it. That's fine. If you want to stick with that, and hey, Notre Dame has every right to do that. But then USC says, okay, so you won't do that. And now you have this like automatic qualifier to get in at top 12. So let's say we end up playing each other, or we play each other. We beat you, and we're ranked one spot ahead of you. Say we're ranked 11th, and Notre Dame's ranked 12th. Well, guess what? USC ends up getting knocked out of the playoff for that G6 at-large bid that is likely not in the top 12, and Notre Dame gets in. So, like, what is the point? Like, what are we doing here if that is the case? And why are we doing that if the overall goal of the current college football landscape is to get to the college football playoff and win a national title? I've said this many times. In the separation from fanhood to business is it's a line, and you have to pick a side. And there is no valid reason outside of pageantry and tradition, which I think makes college football great. But outside of that, there is no reason to play Notre Dame in the confines of how it currently is. I still think there's value in, week 0 or beginning of the schedule because you keep it going, but it's a little different in beginning of the year versus end of the year, the travel, all that, which I've talked about ad nauseum. That's just the way it is. So for all those now saying, well, what's the, like, why play college football then? Like, where's the passion? Why not have the pageantry? These same people, like, don't care when other teams do it, or at least don't call it out. And are apparently USC is the only team right now that needs to toe the line of pageantry and tradition. Because all of college football has abandoned it. Since NIL, since the transfer portal, since the college football playoff, since these massive TV network deals, pageantry is over. As we knew it. I think there still is some, obviously. It's the game we all love. But it's not like this is some new thing. It's been abandoned by everyone. Oregon State, not in the same conference anymore. That game's moved to the front of the schedule. Washington State, the Apple Cup, they're not in the same conference anymore. That game's moved to the front of the schedule, where it used to be in rivalry week. UCLA Cal, not in the same conference anymore. That game, after a 2-year hiatus, is getting moved to the front of the schedule. So to stand on some pedestal of like the pageantry, the tradition, but it only applies to USC is laughable to me. And for all everyone out there calling it laughable in the other way, like USC running and all this, just don't understand what college football is today. That's what it is. You don't understand what the game is today. It's not what it was 10 years ago. It's not what it was 60 years ago. It's not what it was during the Pete Carroll era. It's not what it was 2 years ago. The Pac-12 was here 2 years ago. And that's a whole nother conversation if you want to get into why that's no more. And obviously the blame game falls squarely usually on USC from those around the country. But that's another conversation we could have if we want to get into that. But I mean, that's just the way the landscape is now and the way college football is. It's a different world. Right? As the great movie, The Draft Day, with Kevin Costner, we live in a different world than we did just 10 seconds ago. Things are different. As a fan, I hate it. I don't want it to be different. I don't want college football to change from what it's always been. But if you take yourself out of that like fanscape and look at it from the business lens that is the game, it is a full business now. Free agency, pay for play. Teams are starting to have sponsorship patches on their jerseys and helmets. It is a business. And so when you look at it from a business, USC made the right choice. And again, it was not them canceling the rivalry. They said, we want it to go, but these are our terms. If you don't want to meet our terms, then great, let's pause it. We can talk again in the future and see if we can come to terms. That's how negotiations work. I don't know how else to explain it. Right? Notre Dame has always gotten their way, not just with the USC, with all of college football. And now they get this sweetheart deal with the college football playoff as well. So, it's unfortunate. It's a crappy day for the tradition of college football. Like, two things can be true, right? This rivalry being put on pause sucks for college football, for the tradition that is this great pastime. But also, USC did what was best for USC's program, and they made the right choice. Those two things can be true. Very rarely do tough decisions benefit everyone. Very rarely are tough decisions met with a ton of positive reviews. Right? Usually the toughest decisions we make in life are heavily scrutinized. And this is certainly one of those moments. But in my mind, and I think a lot of people out there, it will be seen as a smart one and as the right one for what college football is today, not for what it was 5 years ago. And even those saying that if, the Pac-12 was still here, like if USC didn't kill the Pac-12, this is blah, 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 blah. If that was the case and the Pac-12 was still relevant, this would still come to a head. Because the college football playoff is so different. So even if USC was in the Pac-12 and the Pac-12 was still alive and its normal confines of travel and all that, this contract was still set to expire. And the powers that be would have still said, hey, wait a minute. Why are we the only program in America that is forced to travel across the country or host, Notre Dame travels too, in the middle of our Big Ten schedule? I've said it before. There's a handful of non-conference games during rivalry week. I think it's Florida State, Louisville, Kentucky, Georgia Tech, maybe one or two more. Those are intrastate rivalries. And those may change. I mean, we'll see if those change in the future now that every conference has gone to 9 conference games. Remember, up until this year, ACC, SEC, Big 12 all played 8 conference games. 2026 is the first year all 4 Power 4s will play 9 conference games. This is a new thing. More things are going to be changing. Things are changing. That's all. I mean, the quicker people can just accept that and not pretend that our great game is what it was 5 years ago, the quicker we can just kind of move on and enjoy what it is today. So I hope this rivalry can come back. I hope it's back in 2030. The fact remains, USC said, hey, let's play it on week 0. And Notre Dame said, nope, we don't want to. It's playing it how he's always playing it or not at all. That's the facts. If you want to say USC made an unfair negotiation, that's how negotiations work. That's how they work. That's what they are. So, yeah. Anyway, that's what it is. College football is different. I don't know how many different ways I can say it. So I know a lot of you USC fans and a lot of followers of the channel understand that and get that and are kind of like ready for this just new change. I think there's a lot of older fans, and I do not mean this at all in any disrespect, but that just don't want to kind of accept that change. But that's the reality of it. So I think it was the right move. That doesn't mean I like the move. Right? I'll say that again. And I've said it many times already. A decision being made can be correct, and that doesn't mean you have to like it. I don't like it, but I do agree with it. I think it was the smart choice for USC based on the way the college football landscape is today. All right. Hopefully that is the last time for now that I need to talk about this. But, it's obviously the big hot topic right now in college football. And just wanted to give my last kind of thoughts on it as it pertains to this kind of last little bit of information that does affect USC and the college football landscape. Like, to me, it's just more mind-blowing that Notre Dame was given this sweetheart deal to begin with, and I haven't gone down the nitty-gritty of how it all works and all the qualifiers and all like that, so I'm not going to try to project too much on it. But it's just surprising to me that even occurred. So, and again, the whole thing with BYU, that was obviously a conversation they've been having for a long time. You don't sign a new team in the same article that says that this rivalry is ending. So all those like, oh, look, they had someone lined up in minutes. No, this is something obviously has been ongoing. Once these negotiations kind of fell apart, they obviously backed into this during probably November. This probably has been a done deal for weeks or close to it. These things don't just happen like that, right? So that's what it is. It's an unfortunate day, but it is what it is. We move forward. We move on. We fight on, right? So we'll have got some recruiting stuff coming tomorrow. We'll see if any more re-signings happen tomorrow ahead of the Christmas season. Hope everyone, this was more of a poignant, soapboxy like episode, but hey, things are looking up. Things are great for this program right now, and excited to be covering this team with you all, with me as we keep this growing. So hit that like and subscribe button, and I will be back first thing in the morning. Appreciate you, family, and as always, fight on. Hey, Trojan family, thank you so much for hanging out and watching the USC LAFB show. Before you go, let me tell you quickly about our friends over at Sleeper. Go right now, download the Sleeper app. It's the #1 sports app, not just for season-long fantasy, but they've got live pickers, they've got live stat updates, they've got a chat you can chat with other users, plus the daily pick'em, which is a blast, or daily fantasy, whatever you want to call it. You go and pick 2 to 8 players across any sports. If you're talking USC, go choose Jaden Mayava in his next matchup. Pick more or less passing yards, more or less touchdowns. You stack those, and you can win real money. When you go to make your first deposit, make sure you use our promo code USCLAFB. You're going to get a match deposit up to $100. Put in $100, you get $100 free to play with from Sleeper. Put in $10, they'll match you that $10, so now you're sitting at $20 to play with. But also, right now, for any new users, no deposit required. You get $20 free entry. You can stack both. You can get the $20 for free. Go make a deposit. Use USC LAFB, and now you've got a bunch of free money to play with right there on the Sleeper app. Check it out, Trojan family, and when you do, tell them the guys at the USC LAFB sent you.
If you're an HVAC technician and a call comes in, Grainger knows that you need a partner that helps you find the right product, fast and hassle-free. And you know that when the first problem of the day is a clanking blower motor, there's no need to break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product details, you're confident you'll soon have everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening. Happy holidays. Want to give your host a gift? Consider subscribing, rating, and reviewing the show this holiday season. It really helps the show grow. From all of us at Believe, have a Merry Christmas, everyone, and a Happy Holiday.